والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to our Tafseer lesson. Last time we have covered 20 ayat from Surah Baqarah, and we have explained that the major objective of this surah, that is to show how one ummah, which was Bani Israel, who are given the responsibility to carry the messages of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the time has come that they should be withdrawn, and this responsibility is given to the last prophet and the last ummah. So it is the change of imamate, al-imam. That is the main objective of this surah, Surah Baqarah. And we also mentioned that if you compare it with Surah Al-Imran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, emphasis are upon Iman, and in Surah Al-Imran, emphasis are upon Islam. In Surah Al-Baqarah, out of Bani Israel, Jews are mentioned in the ayat which are going to be recited, and in Al-Imran, in the beginning, the Christians are mentioned, and a lot of discussion is made about Christianity. Now let us come to verse number 21. And we also said, before we go to verse number 21, that in these 20 ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about the book of Allah, that it is from Allah. There is no doubt that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then those who believe, they are the one who got the taqwa of Allah, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the discussions about the three groups, the groups of the believers, and then the non-believers, and then al-munafiqun are hypocrites, and they were both from among the Jews and from among the people in al-Madinah. Those who professed Islam outwardly, but inwardly they were still kuffar, they were still non-believers. And then two similitudes are given about them. We have already covered these points. Now we come to ayah number 21. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O mankind, worship your Lord who created you and those before you, so that you acquire taqwa. Because the mushrikeen people, they used to believe that their ancestors, among them, there were people who got that ability to work like God, to work like Ilah. So this is why it has been made very, very clear to them that Allah is the one who created you and the people before you as well. They were just people like you, human beings. And the objective from your creation is that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you fear Allah. This has been explained again and again in the ayat of Al-Quran. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. Who has made the earth as a bed for you, and the heavens your canopy, and sent down rain from the heavens, and brought forth therewith fruits for sustenance, then set not up rivals unto Allah when you know the truth. Why you should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting you to recognize Him as their Rabb, their Ilah. Why? Because He is the one who has provided you everything for your survival. The earth on which you build your houses, it is just like a bed for you. The heaven above you like a canopy. And then from this heaven comes the water, and water is the source of all life, all plantation, all vegetations. It is a sustenance for you. So if Allah has provided you everything, then He deserves to be the center for your worship, center for your obedience. So don't make partners with Him as God. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and you know that. You know the truth, that your partners got no ability, no strength, no power at all. They are helpless like you. وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بسورة من مثله وادعوا شهداءكم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين. So those people who said that this book is not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the answer to them, that if you are in any doubt about what we have revealed to our servant Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you think that he is the one who has written this Quran, all right, then we give you the challenge. Bring just one surah, in mislihi, like that of our Quran, and invite all your witnesses and all your helpers, min dunillah, beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whom you invoke, in kuntum sadiqeen, if you are truthful. So that was the challenge which was given to the Arabian, those who were very eloquent in their language, and the poetry of Jahiliyyah is very, very famous for eloquency and also for its rhythm and style. And this what we have said when we were explaining the split letters, alif, lam, mim, that the best meaning is that this Quran is composed of your own alphabet. Your alphabet, which got around 28 letters, 14 of them are mentioned in the split letters. So this is your own language. If you think that you can bring something similar to it because it was written by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in your claim, then try to do something similar. So this was the challenge which was given to them in 3 stages. In one place it is said, bring something similar to Al-Quran. And then around 10 surah if you can. And then in Surah Baqarah, even just one surah if you can. And they were not able to do it. It is said that Ibn al-Muqaffa, who was a Persian, but he was very eloquent in Arabic, he took this challenge. And it is said that he has confined himself to the 4 walls of his house with paper and pen, trying to write something similar to any surah of Al-Quran. After 6 months' time, he came with complete failure. He said he can't. He could not do anything. Whatever he has written, he tore it. So the people have tried to bring something similar to even one surah of Al-Quran, and those who did it, it was totally ridiculous and got no weight at all, no value at all. And if you are not able to do it, then what is going to happen to you? Verse number 24, فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. If you could not do it, and you will never be able to do it, then beware that fire, the fuel of which would be mankind and stones, which is prepared for kuffar people, for the non-believers, for the rejectors of the faith. So, as long as the challenge is given to you and you are not able to do it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it very clear that even if you try, you will not be able to do it. So, beware then that fire which will be your end if you reject this Quran. That fire in which people are going to be thrown. And why the stones? Stones are, it means here the statues, the idols which were made of stones, in which the Arab people believed that they are going to benefit them. So when they will see the same statues, same idols burning with them in the hellfire, they would recognize, they would know that how helpless they are, how helpless they themselves and their gods. وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أن لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار. And give good tidings to those people who believed and those who have done good deeds. For them are going to be gardens underneath, the rivers are going to flow. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة رزقا قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل وأتوا به متشابها ولهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وهم فيها خالدون. Every time they are fed with fruits therefrom, they say, why, this is what we were fed with before. For they are given things in similitude, and they have therein spouses purified, and they abide therein forever. Good tidings for the believers, those who have done good deeds. You will see, you will notice in the Quran, wherever the believers are mentioned, Iman is mentioned. After that, good actions, Al-Amal Salih is mentioned. Iman is just like a seed. Seed is hidden. Seed is hidden in the clay, in the land itself. You are going to discover it when a plant comes out of it. And that plant grows into a tree. And that tree is going to bring some fruits. This is how you can recognize the value of that seed. But the seed which dies in the land itself, which was rotten, for example, it got no fruit at all. It will not turn into a plant at all. This is the example of Iman. If you have Iman, then there should be a tree of fruits out of it. If you got Iman, you must have Amal Salih, good deeds. It is impossible that you say, I am Mu'min, and then you don't pray, you don't give zakat, you don't fast, you don't go for Hajj, if you are able to do it. No, that is impossible. Iman is felt. Now we are in winter, cold weather, and you got this radiator in your room. This radiator is on and you can feel it. You can feel it. But if this radiator does not work at all, then are you going to keep it with you? No, you are going to throw it. So that is the example of Iman. If you have Iman, then it will be exposed in good deeds. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this glad tidings that they will be rewarded with Jannat, with gardens underneath the rivers were flowing. That is an answer to those people who keep on saying that what is Jannah, what is paradise? It is just your good feelings. we would be very happy. That is a spiritual type of state of mind. Yes, spiritually they would be very happy. But Jannah is not just a spiritual Jannah, it is a physical Jannah. You will feel it, you will live therein forever. How much explanations, descriptions of Jannah is given in Quran. That is one verse. Whenever the fruit is given to them, they would say, هَذَا الَّذِي رُزِقْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِ. Oh, we have been given this fruit before that as well in this world. وَأُتُوا بِهِ مُتَشَابِهًا. But they were given something just very similar in shape and form. As far as the taste is concerned, oh, there is a great difference. So it means that when they see a fruit like apple, they would say, oh, this is apple. But this apple, which you were given in this world, in our world, the apple of Al-Jannah would look like it, only in shape and form. But in the taste itself, that is something different. That is something very higher and very sublime. This is what it means. وَأُتُوا بِهِ مُتَشَابِهًا. This tashabuh or similarity is only in its look, but in taste it is different. And then they will have spouses, and they are purified. This is again the descriptions of the spouses in Al-Jannah. وَهُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And this life is an eternal life. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَسْتَحْيِي أَن يَضْرِبَ مَثَلًا مَا بَعُوضَةً فَمَا فَوْقَهَا فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فَيَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فَيَقُولُونَ مَاذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِهَذَا مَثَلًا يُضِلُّ بِهِ كَثِيرًا وَيَهْدِي بِهِ كَثِيرًا وَمَا يُضِلُّ بِهِ إِلَّا الْفَاسِقِينَ. Allah disdains not to use the similitude of things, even of a knot, as well as anything above it. Those who believe know that it is the truth from their Lord, but those who reject faith say, what means Allah by this similitude? By it He causes many to stray, and many He leads into the right paths. But He causes not to stray except those who forsake the paths. The kuffar, the non-believers, they heard the Quran, and they have seen that there are examples of very tiny creatures, insects are given in Al-Quran. For example, in the end of Surah Al-Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that these people, these non-believers, their gods, even if they're all together, they are not able even to create one fly, just one fly. Then the example of the spider is given. There is a whole surah with the name of Surah Al-Ankabut, the spider. That is the answer to them when they were saying, oh, what type of these similitudes are given? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not shy of giving a similitude. Whether it is a very, very small insect like a moth, like a mosquito, for example, and even what is above that, above it means even above it means in its size, that it is smaller than that. But when this similitude is coined and the believers listen to it, they know that it is haqq, it is right from their Lord. Only the rejectors of the faith, the kuffar, they are going to say, مَاذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِهَذَا مَثَلًا. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does mean by that? يُذِلُّ بِهِ كَثِيرًا وَيَهْدِي بِهِ كَثِيرًا. He misleads with it many and guides with it many. وَمَا يُضِلُّ بِهِ إِلَّا الْفَاسِقِينَ. But He only guides those people who are fasiqeen, who are the sinners. This is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is mentioned here. That is the first time this sunnah is given. But we can say a similar sunnah was mentioned before as well. When Allah said, "Khatam Allahu ala qulubihim wa ala sam'ihim wa ala absarihim ghishaba." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stamped their heart, their hearings, and upon in front of their eyes is a screen. They can't see anything. And we said at that time that this sealing of their heart does not come arbitrarily by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No. You are the one who tried to attract this sealing. Because of your actions, that sealing has happened. In the very same way here, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this Quran with all its similitudes, the believers, they accept it straight away. But the non-believers, they start asking the question, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mean by that? يُضِلُّ بِهِ كَثِيرًا وَيَهْدِي بِهِ كَثِيرًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misleads many with it and guides many with it. But who were misled? Only al-fasiqeen. And then there is a description of fasiqeen, the sinner, what type of sin they are committing. So it means that Allah has shown the path to everyone. So those people who got the taqwa of Allah and they think that this is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they accept it, so they are guided. On the other hand, those people who keep on sinning, committing the sins, because of those sins, they got no understanding at all. And because of that, they reject this guidance. They are al-fasiqeen. They are the sinners. الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك هم الخاسرون. Those who break Allah's covenant after it is ratified and who sunder what Allah has ordered to be joined and who cut off what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered to be joined and do mischief on earth, those cause loss only to themselves. So who are these al-fasiqeen? There are three characters are mentioned here. The first thing is that is to break the covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الَّذِينَ يَنْقُضُونَ أَهْدَ اللَّهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مِيثَاقِهِ. And this misaq, or this covenant, the example of which is coming in the story of Bani Israel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken a covenant, a pledge with them that you have to abide by my Sharia. But when they cut it off, when they threw it off, then they became the losers. So one thing is to reject the oaths of allegiance or the pledge which they have taken with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second thing, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to join, they cut it off. And the first thing which comes to our mind, that is joining the relations, relations. That is called, if you join the relation, it is called silatul rahim. And if you cut it off, it is known as qat'ur rahim. So qat'ur rahim, that is the source of a lot of corruption in the land. And that is also repeated in many ayat of Al-Quran, that cutting the relation is a great sin, And those people were yufsiduna fil ard, and they corrupt in the land. Corruption in the land itself, because the land is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there should be the rule of Allah in this land. Any person who leave the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who does not listen to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is mufsidun. He is among those people who is corrupting the land. People, they just follow what is sensual, what is felt by their senses. Now, because of this pandemic, you are listening to the guidelines which is coming from the government. Take the mask. Always come out with your mask. Don't be very near to another person. Have your distance with him. Stay at home. Don't go out. Sanitize everything you touch. Wash your hands whenever you touch anything outside your house. All you are following very easily. You are not rejecting it. Why? Because you can see with your own eyes that how many people are dying every day because of COVID-19. Yesterday it was 1280 person in England in one day. And every day this number, sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases, but it is there. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that there is a hellfire as well. If you don't listen to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will end up in that hellfire. And it is something which people can't bear it at all. It is 70 times more extensive than the fire of this world. So fasad fil ard, corruption in the land, is not to implement the commandments of Allah in the land. That is fasad fil ard. I just think and be amazed to find out that how the people, they themselves, they say that this person has gone against democracy. What happened in America, and how their seat of government and rule in Washington was attacked by a mob belonging to the president himself. And what it has been described as an attack upon democracy. And people are saying, oh, that was something very wrong. The democracy has been devastated in our own country. They say that it is facade. They say it is facade because they themselves, they have brought this system, which is democracy, and if someone goes against it, then it is facade. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that there is a system which I have given to you, and that is the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you go against it, then you are mufsidun fil ard. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. How can you reject the faith in Allah? You were dead. He gave you life. Then He will call you to die. Then He will give you life once again. And then to Him you will go back. Another evidence, you reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you think how you came to this world? Who created you? So non-existence, the state of non-existence was a death, which was mentioned here first. وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا, you were dead, means non-existent. So Allah gave you this life. Now the other deaths, everybody sees it, that how the people are dying. And this death is caused by Allah. And then these kuffar people stop here. No. Even after this death, there would be a life. Allah is going to give them life once again. You came from Allah, you will go back to Him. وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ اسْتَوَىٰ إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَسَوَّاهُنَّ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. He is the one who created for you all things that are on earth. Then He turned to the heaven and made them into 7 firmaments. And of all things He had perfect knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining about Himself. Who am I? He is the one who created everything what is in the earth, all for you, for your sustenance, for your survival. And we have said it many times that even before our creation on this planet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has filled it with all what we needed for our survival. The air does not need us. The water does not need us. The fruit on the tree does not need us. We need them. And this is why they were there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was so Rahim and so Kareem, so merciful that He has provided everything which we needed for our life, for our survival, even before we come to this earth. He has created everything for you. So that is the earth. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned to the heaven, means for the making of the heavens, He made them into 7 heavens. وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. And He got the knowledge of each and everything. The vast knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is good for you, what is bad for you, that is in His knowledge. That was the section which comes to an end here, the discussion. And after that, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا, He has created everything for you in this land. And before that, when we started our lesson from this ayah, الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فِرَاشًا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this earth for you as a bed. Comes this question, all right, you have told us about the creation of this earth. Why this earth was created? What was the purpose behind it? Now the answer is coming, that I wanted to create the man here, the human beings, and for a certain purpose. And this purpose is going to be explained in these ayat. So here comes the story of Adam alayhi salam, and the trial which was waiting for him. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَن يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Behold, thy Lord said to the angels, I will create a vicegerent on earth. They said, wilt thou place therein one who will make mischief therein and shed blood, whilst we do celebrate thy praises and glorify thy holy name? He said, I know what you know not. So here comes the beginning of how the first man, Sayyidina Adam, was created. Before his creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the angels, the word malaika, which is coming from uluka, alaka, uluka, which means messengerhood. So malaika, malak is the messenger. When he said to them that I am going to create or make in the land Khalifa. Khalifa, the word Khalifa is Arabic word which means to come as a successor. Khalafa. خلف من بعدهم خلف أضاعوا الصلاة واتبعوا الشهوات فسوف يلقون غيا. So people came after them who wasted their prayer and started following their desires, and then they are going to meet the evil consequences of their actions. And here comes the difference between ja'ala and khalaqa as well. Khalaqa is a creation, and ja'ala, to make something after it has been created. So when you will see, whenever the word ja'ala comes, you will see that it comes after the creation. After the creation of something, then it will be turned into something else. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that I am going to make in this land a successor. Khalifa, the translation which is given here by Abdullah Yusuf Ali, that is a vicegerent, Khalifa. Let us stick to the actual meaning, which is successor. Successor means someone who is coming after someone. This is why when Sayyidina Abu Bakr took the rule after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the Sahaba, they agreed to call him as Khalifa. And Khalifa to Rasulullah, successor to the Prophet of Allah. And when Sayyidina Umar became Caliph, then people said that he is Khalifa to Khalifati Rasulullah. He is the successor to the successor of the Prophet. Then this problem was raised that if you keep on saying in this way, then it will be a very long description of the Khalifa after Sayyidina Umar. 3 times you have to say Khalifa. After Sayyidina, the 4th Caliph, 4 times you have to say Khalifa to Rasulullah. So let us say just Khalifa to Rasulullah in the, as far as Al-Khilafatul Rashida is concerned. So Khalifa is the successor. So this is why this discussion is raised here, that this word Khalifa, does it mean that he is a Khalifa for Allah? No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Hayy al-Qayyum. Nobody can be a successor to Allah. So this is why this term Khalifatullah, a successor to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not found in the Salaf literature. It came later. People started using this term, Khalifatullah, and then they give the explanation that it does not mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not able to command this earth, but he wanted a trial, and for that trial, he has given some of his rule, some of his powers to this person or this caliph. But we don't go to that route. We say that Khalifa means the successor, because there were people before us living in this very same planet. How could you say that? Because of the questions of the angels. Angels, at once they asked this question to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are you going to make someone here who will corrupt in the land, who will shed the bloods? Why did they say that? Because they have seen there were some people before us, and they were jinn, of course. According to some authentic ahadith, they were jinn. Because they corrupted in the land, they were the one who shed the blood. So at once they asked this question to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are you going to create someone who is going to corrupt in the land and shed the blood? And we are here to serve you, to glorify your name. وَنَحْنُ نُصَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ. Tasbih, hamd, taqdees, 3 words. Tasbih, subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is absolved from all defects. That is tasbih. Bihamdika hamd, praiseworthy sayings. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So that is a positive thing. وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ taqdees. Taqdees is to glorify someone. So we are here to do that. So you are in what need to create a man? What was the answer of Allah? قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Indeed, I know what you don't. وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. And he taught Adam the names of all things. Then he placed them before the angels and said, tell me the names of those if ye are right. Now here comes this question, that this incident that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first of all, he taught Sayyidina Adam the names. Names of what? And then he asked the angels, can you tell me the names of all these objects? If you are truthful that you know everything. Here we find that Mufassirin, those people who have written the Tafseer of Al-Quran, they got difference of opinion. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. They say that it means Sayyidina Adam, because he was the first man, he did not know what are all the things behind around him. So he was shown the water and the name was given to him. Whatever the name, the language Sayyidina Adam spoke. That is water, that is alma, and that is the fruit, and that is the food, and that is the tree. These are the utensils, these are the pots, this is heaven, this is earth. So all these names were given. That is one of the explanation. But of course, there are a few other explanations as well. And we think the best explanation is, look at the pronoun for all those things. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ. Then he presented them. This word hum, the word hum is used for some people who got life and who are not just objects, they are people. And then فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. And even the word هَؤُلَاء and indications towards them, that is also used for uqala. Uqala means the people with aql, and it means those three creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, human beings and jinn and the angels. So this is applicable to them. So the best explanation which I have chosen to elaborate this verse, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam the names of all those great figures among his children and grandchildren, among his progeny, who would be the torch bearer of Islam, who would be minarets for guidance, and they were the prophets of Allah and the messengers of Allah. Because the question was raised by the angels that, are you going to create someone who would corrupt in the land and who would shed the blood? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show them, look at these people. Look at Nuh, look at Idris, look at Ibrahim, look at Musa, look at Isa, look at Muhammad, salawatullahi alayhim ajma'in. They are the people who are going to guide the people, and they would be the minaret of the lights. So best explanation is that Sayyidina Adam was told the names of all those great figures among his progeny who are going to come after him and guide the people. They were not corruptors in the land. They were not the shedders of the blood. So that's what happened. So he was shown all these figures, great figures, and their names. And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing the very same figures to the angels and asking them, do you know what are the names of these people? قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. They said, glory to thee. We have no knowledge except what we have taught us. Indeed, you are the one who is perfect in knowledge and wisdom. Now they have to admit, angels have to admit their inability to know anything at all. And they have exposed their inability. قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أنبأهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون. Now here there was the stage was ready to show the dignity and the knowledge of Adam, the superiority of Adam upon them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Adam, Ambehum bi asma'ihim. He said to Adam, tell them their names. When he had told them their names, Allah said, did I not tell you that I know the secrets of heaven and the earth? And I know what ye reveal and what ye conceal. Adam was asked to tell their names, and of course he knew their names, so he told them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, did not I say to you that I know all the secrets of the heaven and the earth? I know what you were revealing. What they were revealing? The question which they have just asked, why you are creating this man. وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ, and what you were concealing, and what they were concealing, that implies from this question, then why you are creating that man then, when he is of this nature. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And behold, we said to the angels, bow down to Adam, and they bowed down. Not so Iblis, he refused and was haughty. He was of those who reject faith. Another episode, when we said to the angels that do sajda, prostrate to Adam. That was a trial. You see, when we say that the man was sent to this earth in a trial. Now this trial, one example is given right in the beginning, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the angels prostrate to Adam, fasajadu, all of them they prostrated, except for one person who is known to be Iblis. He did not do it because of Abba, he declined. Wastakbara, he became arrogant. Wakana min al-kafirin, and he is among the one to reject the commandments of Allah, to reject the faith. We know that Iblis, that is the name of Shaitan, Satan. And it is said in those ahadiths which speak about jinn living in this land before the human beings, that when they started corrupting in the land, shedding the blood, at that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent one of the jinn to deal with the situation in the land itself. So now this jinn who was sent at that time, he was able to expel, you can say, the rebellion which was shown by the jinn at that time, or the fasad and corruption of the jinn. So that was the reason that this jinn, who was very much close to the angels, And that is another question, why the jinn were there. The order was for the angels to prostrate to Adam. So why this jinn was there? And we have to say that there is not much difference between the jinn and the angels in their creation. Both are coming from the fire. And the difference is that the fire from which the angels are created is very fine. And the other fire from which the jinn are created is crude, but they are from the same source. They differ only in their characteristics, in their attributes. Otherwise, they are very close to each other. So this is why when this order was given, and this commander of the jinn was there, he thought that this commandment is for me as well. This is why he was exposed, that he did not prostrate because of his arrogance only. And this arrogance is exemplified, is shown in his name now, Iblis. Iblis, which is coming from Ablasa. Ablasa means the person who is disappointed. Disappointed of what? Disappointed of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he became arrogant, and his arrogance was shown in another surah, that he said that خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. My origin is better than Adam's origin. I am created out of fire. Adam is created out of the clay. So why should I prostrate to him? So from here comes the story between Adam and Iblis, how Iblis is going to be now an enemy to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam and his progeny. وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةَ وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And we said, O Adam, dwell thou and thy wife in the garden, and eat of the bountiful things therein, as where and when you will. But approach not this tree, or ye run into harm and transgression. This is the real trial, which becomes the source of all the bigger trial of the humanity in this planet. It begins with this story. When Sayyidina Adam was told to stay in Jannah with his wife, eat from where they want in abundance, the food was in abundance, but they were told not to approach a certain tree. The name of that tree is not given, so we should not worry about it. That was a commandment. Everything is halal for you except this tree. If you do it, you would be among the zalimin, unjust people. فَأَذَلَّهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ عَنْهَا فَأَخْرَجَهُمَا مِمَّا كَانَا فِيهِ وَقُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا بَعْضُكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ وَلَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُسْتَقَرٌّ وَمَتَاعٌ إِلَى حِينٍ. Then did Satan make them slip from the garden and get them out of the state of felicity in which they had been. And we said, get ye down, all ye people, with enmity between yourselves, and earth will be your dwelling place and your means of livelihood for a time. The real trial begins, because now Iblis was there too, to inspire them, to whisper to them not to obey this commandment. And in other surah it has been revealed, like Surah Taha, that if you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like you to eat from this tree, because if you eat from this tree, you may turn into either an angel or you will have an eternal life. They ate from that tree. And this is why they were expelled from Al-Jannah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا. Now you have to descend, you have to go down. بَعْضُكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ. Some of you is the enemy to other of you, means two parties. On one side is Adam and Hawa, his wife, and the other side is the Satan. Now from this time, the earth becomes your abode and a place of residence for a certain time. فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. Here the story is given very shortly. This story would be given in more details in Surah Al-Araf. Adam received from his Lord few words. فَطَابَ عَلَيْهِ. When he said these words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his repentance. Indeed, إِنَّهُ هُوَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. He is the one who is oft returning, most merciful. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted Sayyidina Adam to realize that he has done mistake, and he himself gave him these words which are mentioned in Surah Al-Araf, words of repentance. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَّمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Admit your guilt, admit your wrongdoing, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon you. When he said these words of tawbah, then his tawbah was accepted, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is at-tawwab, he is ar-rahim. قُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى فَمَن تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. We said, get ye down all from here, and if, as is sure, there comes to you guidance from me, whosoever follows my guidance, on them shall be no fear, nor shall be grief. That is the final commandment. All of you, you have to go down to this earth, because now the earth will be the place of the real trial. That is between the human beings and the Satan. Human beings who are going to be given the guidance, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to see how far they are going to abide by it. And this is why it is said that a guidance will keep on coming to you. The one who follow this guidance, there would be no grief upon them, no fear upon them, and no grief upon them. These are the two things which are found in this earth. There is a fear. What is going to happen tomorrow? This pandemic is going to last for how long? There is a fear. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. And there is huzn, grief upon those people who passed. Your dear ones who have passed away, you got grief. Sometimes you got grief upon the loss of money, loss of trade, loss of souls. And these are the two things which are not going to be in Al-Jannah. This is why the person who are going to follow this guidance, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. But those who reject faith and belie our signs, they shall be companions of the fire, they shall abide therein. So, these two groups which were mentioned in the beginning, believers and the non-believers, here comes what is going to happen to them. The first group is in Al-Jannah, and the second group, the rejectors of faith, they would be the denizens of fire, where they will abide forever. And here comes the end of this section, and we have covered now till ayah number 39. So inshallah we will continue with these lessons. So we have to stop here. It is an hour since we started this lesson. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله تعالى على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.